What's good, guys? Fantasy Joe back here with some more fantasy football content. Today, I am talking my week one wide receiver rankings, half point PPR. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment section down below. I'll respond as always. Let me know who should be higher in these rankings. Let me know who you think should be lower. Let's jump into it. Number one, I've got Kupp facing Buffalo. Kupp is just a 101 for me. Number two, Jamar Chase against Pittsburgh. Don't think their corners are great, and I like Joe Burrow in that matchup. Number two, Deebo Samuel against a horrendous Chicago Bears defense. This might seem a little bit far down to have Justin Jefferson, but Green Bay has really good corners. I still view him as an elite option, just slightly. Deebo has a great matchup against Chicago this week that I really like. 4, CeeDee Lamb plays Tampa. I expect them to attack them through the air, and he is the number one wide receiver there. I expect him to have a big week. Stefon Diggs plays the Rams. I think that'll be a shootout of a game. Even though Jalen Ramsey's there, I'm not shook. Stefon Diggs is an absolute baller. He'll be fine against anybody. Speaking of players that can get open against anyone, Davante Adams against the Chargers. They've got some good corners there, but it's Davante Adams. Number 7, I got Mike Williams against Vegas. Think he is due for a big game, especially if Vegas can score some points in that one. Number 8, Marquise Brown against Kansas City. Think he's going to be a top 12 wide receiver for the first 6 weeks of the season while DeAndre Hopkins is out. I think his target share will be large. Kansas City, they'll have to score some points as well. 9, Michael Pittman Jr. against Houston. Great matchup for him. I don't know how much they'll be throwing the ball in the second half. That'd be my only thing, but I do think Houston's at least solid. 10, T. Higgins against Pittsburgh. The same reasons I like Jamar Chase. I like him. Great touchdown upside in any given matchup with Joey B. 11, A.J. Brown. Great matchup for him against Detroit with their secondary that's been very weak. 12, Courtland Sutton against Seattle. And 13, Jerry Jeudy against Seattle. Just think that Russ is going to show up and show out in Seattle in that matchup. Think he's going to ball. Think he's going to be ready to start the season hot. 14, Mike Evans against Dallas. Great matchup for him. Chris Godwin recovering from that ACL injury. I have him pushed down a little bit in these rankings just due to uncertainty on my end of how he's going to come out and perform. Might be a little rusty. Might not be involved in every single snap. We will see. 15, Tyreek Hill against New England. I think they're going to be focused extremely heavily on Hill, although I still think he'll be a big enough part of the game plan to be successful for fantasy football. 16, Keenan Allen against Vegas. A good matchup for him and one where they could have to score points, hopefully. 17, DJ Moore plays Cleveland. They've got some good corners over there. Revenge game for Baker. We'll see how he does, but I think Moore should be solid, and you're playing him every single week regardless. 18, Terry McLaurin. Great matchup for him against Jacksonville. If they can't get it done this week, it's only week 1. Don't overreact, but if you can't get it done against Jacksonville, who are you going to get it done with? Although they lost to Clown Town last year, we saw Wentz lose with them when he was with Indy, so we will see. 19, Amon-Ra St. Brown against Philadelphia. I think they have a good defense, but I think Amon-Ra is going to be involved much more than people anticipate this year. 20, Deontay Johnson. He's my wide receiver 1 right now on the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I don't know how that target share is going to go. I don't think he'll have nearly as big a target share as he did last year. Hopefully his average depth of target increases, though. 21, Brandon Cooks against Indy. You know what you're going to get with Brandon Cooks. I think it's going to be a very solid wide receiver. I'm rolling him out there as a wide receiver 2 with full confidence. 22, Allen Lazard, the number 1 in this matchup against Minnesota. If they need to score points, they're going to go to him. A big role in the red zone as well. Number 23, Gabe Davis against the Rams. This could be a big shootout, so I have Gabe Davis ranked high. I like his prospects year long as well. 24, DK Metcalf against Cleveland. He was actually pretty solid, Geno Smith last year. I don't know if the Cleveland's corners are going to have the size to slow him down. We will see. 25, Darnell Mooney against San Francisco. He's the one there. Should get a lot of targets this year. 26, Rashad Bateman. Great matchup for him against the New York Jets. Speaking of number 1 wide receivers, Rashad Bateman is another guy who I think is number 1 on his team. Kadarius Toney in a good matchup against Tennessee. Don't be afraid to play him. They said he looked 100% today at practice. 28, Elijah Moore plays Baltimore. Tough matchup. I still think Moore is the one on that team. Revenge game for elite Joe Flacco as well. Number 29, we got Jalen Waddle against New England. Just think not super high. I have to see it. I feel like Tua come out and have both these guys be successful for fantasy before I start ranking them high, to be honest with you. Just how I'm feeling. Chris Godwin plays Dallas. Only reason he's down this far on the list, I'm a little worried about how he's going to come off that ACL injury. I've got Juju Smith-Schuster at 31 against Arizona. think they'll need to score some points. Right now, he's healthy. I do worry about that knee injury a little bit, but right now he's good to go, so I think he's a full play this week. 32, Hunter Renfrow against the Chargers. Darren Waller might not be ready to go week 1. In that case, roll Hunter Renfrow out there with full confidence, especially in PPR leagues. Same thing with Juju, gets a bump in PPR leagues. 33, Allen Robinson, first game in LA. Gets to go against Buffalo where they could need to score some points. I expect him to have a good game. 34, Christian Kirk plays Washington. Good matchup for him. They paid him a ton of money. I think he's the number 1 receiver on that team and should be involved. 35, Amari Cooper, number 1 receiver on his team. Plays Carolina. They're going to have some solid corners there, but I think he'll be able to get open, and he is, like I said, the number 1 target, so he should get targets regardless of the coverage in every single game just because of the options they have around him. 36, Adam Thielen always plays well against Green Bay, although they do have really good corners this season. A little down on him, although he always seems to get it done. Chris Olave against Atlanta. I think he is the guy I would want to play between him and Michael Thomas. Just with Michael Thomas being a little banged up, we'll see how he is on the practice reports week of. 38, Robert Woods plays the Giants. Wide receiver 1 in his team right now. Gets a slight bump to me in PPR leagues as well. Brandon Ayuk, great matchup for him against Chicago. 40, Drake London, tough matchup, but should receive targets regardless. Monitor that knee injury just to make sure he's ready to go. And 41, Rondale Moore against Kansas City in a game that could be a shootout. They need to score some points regardless to win. And DeAndre Hopkins is suspended, so he could be the number 2 option in that offense. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll respond as always. This has been Fantasy Joe. Thank you guys for watching.